Well, I got in the Porsche Cayenne today and it said I need to do an oil change, so let's go ahead and change the oil. I'm using wooden ramps, but they do sell ramps that are specifically made for this purpose. And I'm going to use some Mobil 1 oil, some 5W40, and this is what's recommended for the GTS. And I'm going to use this oil filter, it's 84694. I'm going to use an oil pan, a funnel, and I'll use a container to transport the used oil and some blocks so the car doesn't roll back. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the ramps. And you could use a jack, but if you use a jack, make sure you use jack stands as well for added safety. I'll move the car up to the top of the ramp so it's over the block. And then I'll put the parking brake on. And then I'll put some blocks in front of the wheel and behind the wheel. I'll stop the car from rolling. And we're going to need one of these screwdrivers, a T30. It's a star bit, or if you have a bit here, you can use a drill. I'll show you which works the best. So you're going to have to take out all these bolts on the underside of the car. Now there's two panels. The rear one you really don't have to take off unless you want to, but I ended up taking it off. Starting out with the screwdriver, and as you can see, this is going to take a while. So if you end up using a screw gun, they come out pretty quick. There you go, you got two. You got the ones in the front. And just as I thought I was all done, there's some hidden ones. They're hidden way up in the corner here. They're really hard to get to. So I'm going to use the extension for a socket, put on a 1/4 inch socket, and I'll put the T30 bit in it, and then I'll add it to the drill. The extension's not designed to be put into the drill, but it fits. Now the extension still spins a little bit, but every so often it catches, and it does work. So there we go. Able to get that side, get the other side, and pull the panel down. Okay, once the panel is down, now we're going to need an 8mm Allen wrench. Now I have one on a socket, and there's your oil pan. And there's your oil plug. And you're going to end up getting some gloves and an oil pan to collect all the oil. Take out the oil plug. Now I like to switch to just the socket, slowly loosen it. And there's no easy way to do this, so you just turn it and pull away as fast as you can, and there you go. Okay, and it's draining. And if you want it to drain a little quicker, add tip is to open up the oil cap. That'll relieve some of the pressure, and then the oil will come out a little faster. Okay, and then when the oil starts to just trickle, it's almost done. We can start to look at where the oil filter is. There it is. We're going to have to take that off. But the oil pan unfortunately can't reach both spots, so we'll wait till the oil completely stops. I'm going to put the oil plug back in, and I'll just hand tighten it because I'm going to take it off again. But I'm going to move over to the oil filter. I'm going to use a channel lock wrench. I'll use that to loosen it. You can use a 36mm socket, but I don't have one. And we'll just loosen it a little bit, and then we'll use our hand to unscrew it. And there you go. It starts to drain. Pull off the oil filter cover, and then you're going to pull the oil filter down. Okay, and then once you have that drained, then you can open up the oil plug again, and look, there's more oil that comes out. And we'll let that drain, and we'll clean everything off. So here's the new filter, and it comes with a new O-ring. So we're going to end up putting the O-ring on. You can use a small screwdriver or pick tool to pull off the old O-ring. And we'll put the new one on. You want to make sure that you get this O-ring on and you get it in the correct channel. And then once you have it on, you should take some oil. You can use fresh oil and just wipe it on the O-ring. That'll just create a better seal. Then you'd think you'd put the oil filter in here, but you don't. You actually place the oil filter up first in the car. Makes it a lot easier to install. and then you put the cover over it. And then start to screw it down. Make sure you tighten it. And then after I do that, I like to put the drain plug back in. First I clean the area where the oil was dripping. And put that oil plug in. I like to hand tighten it and then move to the socket and then put the wrench on and just torque it down. Then we're going to add the oil. We'll use a funnel, and I like to pour the oil. I like to tilt the bottle on its side. This allows air to enter the bottle. This especially works well if you're not using a funnel. This way you get a nice steady stream. And I always like to measure the oil that came out of the car and just put in slightly less. Now I measured almost 8.5 quarts. I'm going to put just slightly less because it's easier to add oil than it is to remove. Now there's no dipstick to check the oil level, so you have to go inside the car and you turn it on and you go to this screen. Once you're on that screen, then you click this round button and then you scroll down to oil level. Click that and you can't even read the oil level because you have to drive 10 miles first. So we'll put these panels back on, take the car down off the ramps, and we'll take the car for a drive so it can reset the oil level. And there we go, we can check the oil again and it's at the correct level. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, think about subscribing to my YouTube channel. Keep you up to date on all my future videos and leave a comment about what you liked or what you didn't like. I also have another video on how to reset the oil light. Make sure you check that out. Thanks again for watching.